It's time to roll up the sleeves because we're getting into something that's pretty difficult for me. And a lot of you guys always question me on the standalone harness for the Toyota Camrys and asking me how I came up with it. Now, it took a lot of time. It took a lot of time, and it was not with its fails. I set, I think, about 2 or 3 computers on fire. I melted down a lot of harnesses. I had a lot of cars that ran like crap. The first time I actually ran it, the car barely ran at all. But I got better and I got better, and I eventually got to where I am. So the cat is out of the bag now, and I bet you guys already know I'm trying to carburate one of these. And all you guys are going to say, why carburate it? And my answer is alcohol. So I'm trying to get to that point here. So what I have done is, if you guys may remember, a long time ago, I bought a brand new, spanking new, California emissions Toyota Camry distributor. And the reason why I bought it, coil pack is not in here. So I thought that maybe I could put an external coil. Now that would work great in factory configuration where in a car that is 92 to 96, you could put this into it and run an aftermarket coil, get better spark. But the problem with that is I'm having a hard time getting this to signal spark. So I have spent a lot of time, look at my mess over here, working on these. So if you guys don't know what this is the igniter. This is what tells the coil when to spark. This is what gives power to the coil, and this is what basically makes your distributor Toyota Camry run 92 to 96. So what I tried to do, as you guys can see, is I got it all labeled. This here sends spark to the coil, which, by the way, I'm using an aftermarket coil. This is a blaster one with a GMC spark plug wire zip tied in the top of it. I ran this in my Honda Accord back when it was on the road. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how far I got with this. So this is going to take me a little bit of time to set up, and then I'll be right back. So this is how far I got. Negative is grounded to the spark igniter. Then I have coil to the one that I have labeled coil negative. Spark equals positive equals spark is actually wrong. I labeled the wrong one. So this is the one we're going to touch. And then this one right here is the main power, ignition power to the spark arrestor. So then we have the negative from the coil coming out of the spark arrestor to the coil, which is there, and then we have the positive going to the positive booster cable. Now this is pretty confusing, but if you take a look, I can take this, which is connected, this right here, which is connected to the positive, and I can touch it. You see that? Can you hear it? Not sure if you can see it on film. There you go, I seen a flash on the camera there. But anyway, I'm getting spark out of this. It is so actually powerful of a spark, it's setting the lights off on stuff. But here's the problem. I pulled up the wiring diagrams for these, and I actually tried a couple different distributors. And I've came up with that yellow and blue are positive negative, and black and yellow are positive negative. And no matter what I do, I cannot get that distributor to signal this. So I actually tried setting it up with a crank sensor, and that's great. I can get it to work off this, but the problem is that 92 to 95 does not come with crank sensor, only 96 and newer. And then 96 is actually a weird year where the crank sensor is actually different because of OBD1, but we won't go into that. So I can get it to signal off of the crank sensor, but I'm not going to do that because that excludes a lot of years of Toyota. For you guys that don't know where the crank sensor is, your crank sensor is located right down here, and it actually goes off the teeth on the crank pulley. So an old body has a different crank pulley. So that way, if you were to try to put this on an old body, you'd have to change out this, and it's a lot of work to be able to put a crank sensor on a 92 to 95. So after messing around with this for about 3 days, and then just getting upset, and then just sitting there for like hours going like this, just doing that for hours. So after doing that for a couple days, I've kind of given up on it. I've tried everything with this distributor. I've tried repeatedly, and I'm just going to put it back in this box. So I'm going to take this apart so that it doesn't shock me, because honestly, I'm getting completely and utterly fed up of getting shocked by this system. This is a lot of volts. Your doctor, if you get shocked by a coil, they actually recommend, because how big a voltage it is, that you go to the hospital and get a checkout. But screw that. I've taken the time and I've made this. Now, I made one of these before, but this one here is a little bit different. The other one, I spent a lot of time welding it and trying to make it really nice. This one here, I didn't do that. The other one had some issues. This one here has some issues too, but hopefully I can get this worked out by the time that this video is ready to go. I might have a different prototype. Have to make a trip up north, see if I can do it. But anyway, here we have this. What this is a monstrosity, is the best way to put it. This is a small block Chevy Distributor right here. This is a Carbed Carmy base. This is what I cut off of the actual Distributor body. Very simple. And I cut just a wee little bit off the actual shaft, just enough that drives the oil pump. And then I ground it down to fit into there. If this works, I'm going to probably make a video on how to make these. And I made a little tab that actually holds it on the exact same. There is a little bit of play, but once you get that in there, it's like pretty damn tight. So it pretty much attaches the exact same way it does in a small block Chevy down here instead of just up here. Now, the reason why I wanted to do Chevy, mostly because pretty much every derby driver and any guy that actually works on any vehicle should have a small block Chevy Distributor. Even Ford and Mopar guys put small block Chevy Distributors in their Ford or Mopar. Not everybody, but a lot of people. But so what we're going to do now is this here basically goes into the Carbed Carmy. It bolts up like a normal distributor would. This spins on the cam just like a normal distributor would. It's just a little tight right now because I have it all set up. I'm going to do it a little bit better. I had to grind out some pieces. I had to drill out some pieces to make them bigger. But this will get better. So just give me like a couple times to make this look better. So what we're going to do now, I don't have the coil on here, so I'm going to be using the same coil. So I got to ground the distributor, and then I got to hook up the positive from the coil pack to the positive. It's a lot easier when you have the actual factory coil in it because it just clips in and you just supply voltage. I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to put this here. Now, I've been shocked so many times from this, I'm getting upset. Got rubber gloves on this hand, and I got a leather glove on this hand because I don't have gloves. We're going to turn this over in here, see if we hear that coil go off. Oh, you hear that? Oh, I hear it. Now, you guys are going to say small block Chevys are a V8. That's perfect. There's 8 spots we can set the timing to, but if I just make it every other one, that's now a 4-cylinder. So let's see these sparks on the table. I bet you guys can see that. That's some pretty good spark coming out of that. Now I have proof of concept that I can get spark out of one of these. Now some things I want to do is it's actually pretty hard to spin. I'm going to disconnect all my electrical off of this because I am sick and tired of getting shocked. So I have proof of concept. So what do I need now? This is an old beat up distributor. All of the vacuum advance, all the spring weights have been taken out of it. It's actually been welded. It wasn't by me. It was given to me for free. But what we're going to do is we're going to make this so it actually fits in here a lot nicer. That pieces go together a lot nicer. But we now have spark for our carbureted Camry. Well, sort of. I need to get more pieces that go on the top of it. I'm on the lookout for a full distributor. I'll probably have it long before this video goes online. And I'm going to see if I can, try to get a way to make these maybe just a little bit better. I was really hoping that I could just take the whole small block Chevy Distributor and put it right in through it. But that hasn't happened yet. You do have to do a little bit of work though. I'm going to try to make this work just a little bit better. And then maybe try to find a better one. So stay tuned. Lots to come. I am trying super hard. Everybody I know is talking about alcohol. And I'm not talking the alcohol you drink, everybody. I'm talking the alcohol you run vehicles on. Jeffy's Fab Farm has actually been specializing in making LSs run on alcohol for quite some time with amazing results. Almost every fifth post I see on a lot of Facebook is, how do I get alcohol to run in this? I'm trying to do it as well. I think this is one of the things that make these Toyota Camry motors pretty much indestructible. I know that there is now 3 1s on alcohol. I know a lot of small blocks on alcohol. I know a lot of LSs on alcohol. Not around me, but just in the US. Everything around me is pretty much stock. But by doing this, this is one of the first steps. Toyotas are not tunable computers. Unless if you want to make your Toyota tunable, you got to spend a lot of money. So what we're trying to do is, my buddy and I are actually having a race. He is trying to fuel inject a Toyota on alcohol, and I'm trying to carb a Toyota on alcohol. The advantage is his electrical system, he's already got the car running on pump gas. I do not. I just got spark right now. So he's actually like 4 steps ahead of me, but he's got a lot of tuning to do to get his Toyota to run on alcohol. But it is a race, and I intend to win this race. And I want to be one of the first guys that put Toyotas on alcohol. With the coronavirus going on right now, it is actually pretty hard to get parts delivered to me. Delivery guys are not really delivering too much stuff anymore. So we'll see what I can do. I'm going to try to make a trip to get another distributor that isn't completely torn apart. So we'll see what I can do. But this is a great start. I have proof of concept, and that's what I'm after right now. So thanks everybody for watching. I know this has been a little bit of a technical video with all the charts I'm showing you, how I'm running my electrical and all that, but you know what, this has been one of those videos where it's been really hard for me to figure out, and I've probably spent 2 or 3 days here just trying to do this. So I figured I'd include you guys to figure out what I figure out. A lot of you guys down in the US, I know that you're not big on fuel injection, and hopefully if I can make a kit that does this, that is super easy, you guys can start running carburetors. Carbureted W bodies are still very popular in the US, even though tuning is out there and standalone harnesses are out there for the W bodies. Carbureted still seems to be the way to go in the US. So I know that this will make a lot of you Toyota guys happy when if you're seeing a carburetor bolted on. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to try to get this to the point where I can get it running, and we're going to be doing it on the motor with the shaved head, because nothing says performance like shaved head and alcohol. Thanks very much, guys. See you back here tomorrow.